Hi guys, Andrew Davidson here, and welcome back to another As Per My Ability video. If you like what we do here at As Per My Ability, if you like our videos, if you like our content, please do us a favor, comment, like, and subscribe. Do all that fun YouTube stuff. We do appreciate everything that you guys do for us. Also, while we're on the subject, make sure that you hit the little bell so you get notifications when we do post new videos. So today's video is going to be kind of inspired by a conversation that I had not too long ago, where I was talking with someone who isn't necessarily a gamer per se, and I noticed that in the conversation, well, I didn't notice until after the fact, that I was using the terminology area control and area influence kind of interchangeably. Now this, of course, confused the person that I was talking about, and they actually asked the question, what's the difference between area control and area majority or area influence? Because I kept using all these different terms to kind of say the same thing. And it stopped. It actually kind of wrung my brain, and so I figured, you know what, there is a difference. What is the difference? But today, on As Per My Ability, we're going to be talking about the difference between area control and area influence. Greetings and welcome back. So, like I said at the top of the video, we're going to be talking about area control versus area influence, or sometimes area majority. Now, I'm going to make this video kind of short and sweet and not necessarily really talk about the mechanics, but kind of just offer, I've got a bunch of games here I'm going to be fiddling with, and just kind of show some games off, showing off the differences. Now, I do understand this is incredibly problematic because if you haven't played the game, then you don't understand. So I'm going to try my best to sort of fix in and delineate some of the differences. But right off the bat, before I start pulling out games and probably bumping the table and making a huge mess, I want to say a little bit of a definition. So area control means that you and your faction or your miniatures or your little chits and bits have to control parts of the board in order to either win or to score points, which scoring points would probably mean that you win, or gain more resources. So in other words, if I move into an area on a board, I have to kick someone else out. I'm trying to control that area control. Now, area influence is different because I can be in a particular part of the board and you can move in and be in a particular part of the board, and we're kind of sharing it. But at the end of the day, when scoring happens or when the objective is done at the end of the game, we're going to be looking at who has the more influence in that particular area. And a lot of games have gotten quite complex, as we know, and different areas will be worth different things. Like, oh, I control this area, so it'll give me bonuses of drawing extra cards, but you control this area, and yeah, that's going to give you extra points, you know. And like, so there's some more complexity that's going on in these types of games, but I'm just going to make this video pretty short and sweet and hop into some examples. So the first one is the one I don't have, and it's called Risk. Everyone's familiar with Risk, right? Risk is an area control game. You are battling with your opponents to control certain, parts of the country, parts of the board. If you move into Algiers or something, you fight, you kick somebody out. And based on how many places you control, you can muster X amount of troops and stuff like that. So Risk was created in 1952, I believe, by a French militant guy, and it's still around, and it's still a very, very classic prime example of area control, which is why it's my go-to one. Fortunately, like I said, I don't have it, so we'll just have a picture up or something. One I do have is called Twilight Struggle. This is a two-player game only. And Twilight Struggle takes place during the Cold War. It's only for two players. One player plays the US of A, go team, I guess. And the other player plays the communist USSR, which I actually usually play USSR when I play this game. But leave your comments, I guess. Leave your Freudian comments on why I choose USSR most of the time. Yikes. Anyways, in the game, you're basically doing the same kind of thing where you're trying to have your influence tokens, markers, on the board, and when scoring happens, it's basically who controls this part of the city, who's got the majority in Europe, who's got the majority in Africa. And so you're taking something from someone else, and so this is a two-player game only. It is mixed in, this one's kind of a hybrid, it is mixed in with area majority because you can both technically occupy the same space, the same city, like Kyrgyzstan or something. You both could have some troops or whatever in that same space, but I'm not going to get into the rules of Twilight Struggle as it is quite an old game and there is quite a bit going on in Twilight Struggle. So those are the couple of ones that I have for area control. Now, area majority is different. Like I said, you're going to be sharing spaces on the board. And then at some point, there'll be some scoring or some kind of bonus that you get. So I've got quite a few that I'm going to show off, and I'm just going to kind of rattle through them as quick as I can. If you haven't played the game, I apologize. This is not like a game breakdown overview. I just want this to be a pretty quick video, just to show a little bit about what gamers talk about when there's different types of games, like such as deck building, area control, area majority, or games like Take That, things like that. So you'll see probably some more videos regarding those things in the future. But as for now, one of the first area influence games that I purchased, which is not my forte, I should say, when it comes to games, is called World's Fair, 1893. This is actually based on history. This actually happened in Chicago in 1893, and it is a area majority game where you are trying to place your cubes on these different areas in the fair, and at some point, if you have the most cubes, you are going to be getting some bonuses. Up next, we have Tammany Hall, another one that is based in American history. Tammany Hall was basically the Democratic. This is William Tweed. He's an actual guy. He actually lived. He was a big 300-pound politician, very kind of corrupt. But Tammany Hall takes place in American history. If you've seen Gangs of New York, you've seen William Tweed represented in that movie, and the riots against Tammany Hall. This takes place in New York City. If you can see, there are different boroughs, different what they call like districts, in which you're trying to win votes. You are a politician trying to become the mayor of New York City. Well, with all these immigrants coming in, because like I said, it takes place between 1840 and through the Civil War, with all these Irish and German immigrants coming in, you're wanting to try to buy their votes. And so with each different area, you'll kind of go through, I got 3, you got 2, okay, I win this district. You got 2, I got 3, I win this district, and then you'll try to get the mayor to get points, and it runs over a certain amount of time, a certain amount of rounds. This one is complicated because it's got a lot of mechanisms. It's kind of a hybrid game. So the game is probably leans more on worker placement, which is something for a different video, but it is Eric Lang's The Godfather. See if I can get that all in the shot. It is a very big box. It also takes place in Manhattan in New York, where you basically are running a kind of a crime family working for the Don Corleone family of the Godfather movies and books, whatnot. And in the game, there is what they call turf wars, which is essentially how much influence you have in certain turfs. If you have the most influence in the turf, then you gain power over that turf, which means if someone else tries to come in and do their worker placement action, you get that action as well. So The Godfather is probably the more difficult one to kind of explain out of all of these because, like I said, it is a hybrid. It's got a lot of worker placement to it. It's got a little hand management to it, but there is also a phase, like I said, called Turf Wars, where you are going to be cognizant. You do have to think of where you place and like who's going to be winning what turf, because winning turfs is a big deal. If your family wants to come on to my turf, then you're gonna have to pay me, a little something on the side. I would do my Godfather voice, but I can't. Never go against the family. You can act like a man. Yeah, I can't really do it. Those are some ideas of area control, area majority, area influence, whatever. Another one that I'm going to probably post a picture of, which I do have around here, I just didn't want to pull it out, is the newest edition. I believe it's by Fantasy Flight, called Mission Red Planet. Mission Red Planet is an area influence on the red planet of Mars. And so you're trying to launch some spaceships to get your spacemen onto certain parts of Mars. Again, just like all of these games that I've already kind of shown off to you, there is a scoring section, or there is some sort of benefit that you get by having the most influence on different parts of Mars. Just like with The Godfather, just like Tammany Hall, just like World's Fair. You figure out the difference between area control, meaning I need to move my forces or my troops or my little plastic dudes and control a certain part of the board, or if I just need to have more of the influence than somebody else. That's essentially, fundamentally the differences between the two. A lot of games have gotten complicated, such as The Godfather, which I do highly recommend. I do like Eric Lang's games for the most part. Hopefully that's enough for you guys to understand the differences. I wanted to make this a super short video, which is why I'm probably rambling and going too fast. But thank you everyone for watching. Again, my name is Andrew Davidson. Thank you for checking out our program as per my ability, and I will see all of you at the next video.